said, I know it's tough to follow when you're just kind of staring at the huddle screen, right? But do your best. I'm going to try my best to kind of guide you along with what I'm looking at and what I'm referring to. And like I said, if I need to make a video, I'll go outside later and do it, unless the rain from Elmwood Park is coming this way. Let me share my screen.
Coach, I set up the recording too, so you guys can afterwards. I'll put this on the classroom page, and you can look it over.
Say that again. Your recording, like your video
I
stuff?
set up the recording, so I'll put this up on the classroom page afterwards. So if you guys are have questions or whatever, you can go back and look at it.
Okay, cool. So until Coach Wall is back, I can't share my screen. So I'm going to talk you through a couple things I want to keep in mind, what I want you guys to know regarding Buck. As I do this, please go into Huddle and go into our install and take a look at the same install that we were in last week, Offense 2020 series. You'll notice in there, I added Buck right, 121 against two different fronts. And Coach Swain added trap right and trap left against both an odd and an even front. And for some of you younger guys who aren't sure what that means, that basically just means which defense. Tom, I can't share my screen. Can you let me share my screen?
Yeah, I just did it for you.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Just referring to the amount of guys that are basically on the line of scrimmage, defensive linemen, kind of will change some of the ways that we block some of these things, which we're going to see right now.
Guys, a lot of this stuff we're going to be going through with you when we get you in person. Just now is just to give you a base of what's going on. So just take this in, write everything down, right? Be smart, take notes. Fastest way to learn something is to write it down.
Okay. So, Tom, just so you know, I was looking all over for some good, like, almost bird dog videos, and I couldn't see anything that I liked, so I'm going to have to probably go outside and make one, and then I'll post it to accompany all this.
Okay.
But for right now, we're just kind of over.
We had that one on Huddle, dude.
I'll take a look. I didn't actually look in Huddle. I was mostly looking on YouTube, so I'll take a look after that. So this is 121 Buck versus odd front. All right, and I believe Coach Swain put in all of the kind of the blocking assignments. What we want to emphasize before we even talk about the defensive front and a few things that we didn't have a chance to go over last week is some of the footwork of the backfield guys. All right, and like I said, that's difficult to describe, especially with the quarterback, who's a little bit more complicated through their steps. So like I said, I'm going to do my best to get that out to you as soon as we're done here. But basically what you want to be noticing is how we are adjusting to the amount of men on the defensive line of scrimmage, right? This is 121 Buck. So remember, our 100 formation is this first one here, right? The hundreds place. And that tells us that we have strength on the right, tight end on the right, and wing one by one off of him, all right? The 2 tells us it's a 20 series. Right now, we're just looking at Buck and trap in the 20 series as far as, literature that we're aware of. And then 1 is our point of attack. Remember, our point of attack goes from basically 1 to 9 from right to left, right? And more or less, we're not attacking gaps so much as we are attacking areas where the guys are. So we have 9, kind of 8, 7, 6. Sorry, 6 is the right guard. 5 is straight up the center, 4 to the left guard, 3, 2 off his ass if there was a tight end there, and then sorry, I did that opposite. 1 through 9, right to left. All right. One thing that I do want to emphasize is there's a lot of in the backfield, at least, and Swain, if you want to chime in about anything from the line's perspective, feel free. But from the backfield's perspective, one thing that I'm going to emphasize and one thing that we really want to make sure we get better at is our mesh points, which is basically where the quarterback and the running back are going to brush shoulders here. And then the quarterback and the H-back are going to brush shoulders basically where the F is here, right? So these mesh points or these points of deception need to be strong if this is going to actually cause any confusion on the defense's part. All right. Now, that's to say, I know last year we stayed away from it. We are not doing ball fakes. So quarterback, you're not showing the ball. You're not revealing the ball and trying to fake the guy out of you giving the ball. These are proximity fakes, meaning if you're rubbing shoulder to shoulder, the ball shouldn't be able to be seen anyway, because on a lot of these plays, your back is kind of turned and you kind of have the ball hidden from most of the defensive players. However, it's on the running backs, the F and the H, and occasionally the wing, to really sell that proximity point and fake like they are receiving the ball when in reality they're not. All right, that requires running hard, acting like you have the ball, and also knowing what you're going to do after that mesh fake. All right, so for example, the F here, right, on Buck, you're not getting the ball. You want to sell that you're getting the ball, but once you do and you get past that line of scrimmage, you have a job to do. You have to get up to the linebackers and you're looking to cut somebody off, or even this guy if he's cutting down hard, because we're leaving this guy unblocked, assuming he's not going to be a part of the play. All right, so that's just an example of that. I have some descriptions down here as well if you want to take a look at it. Like I said, it's not it's not so easy to take in until you have a visual of what it's going to look like as far as the steps and the movements and the timing. It's a very big timing offense, especially this series. So then you see the same thing versus the even. You see here with the even front, we have 4 defensive linemen, so it's going to change up a little bit what we're doing here. From the line perspective, your rules don't really change too much. We still have our pulling guards looking to kick and wrap, and we have our wing back. One thing that I came across is make sure that this wing back is taking a hard down step toward the tight end and then getting up, because it can really help put some of these outside linebacker guys in a bind as far as attacking straight up field. This one hard step in toward the tight end's ass can throw off some of these linebackers as we go. All right. So everything else is pretty much the same. Understand that this is basically the same idea, especially from the back's perspective. You're not changing anything you do. It's just which guys you're looking to attack from the outside. This is what we looked at last week. All right, 121 and 929. Those plays were just on air. This is just on a normal front. I can add 929, but it's just a mirror of these two. All right, so when we go into trap, let's start here. So when we talk about trap, understand that huddle's funky when you try to put the plays in, so it should be 124 trap, but it's very hard to get that to work the right way. But this is basically 124 trap, right? Because the formation doesn't change. The series is still 2, which means the backfield is still doing the same thing, right? There's nothing changing from the perspective of your attack as a running back, as an H, as an F, and even to a certain extent as a wing. Nothing's changing there. You're still going through the same steps, the same timing, the same mesh points, the same proximity fakes. Everything's the same. The only difference is where the ball is going and what the linemen are doing as a result of it. All right. So trap is obviously a pretty basic play for anybody who knows football. You're basically going to come down hard on an odd front here, mind you, that we're working on an odd front. Your guard's going to come down hard on this nose. Left guard's going to pull and look to kick. What's that? The 4-tech or 4-eye.
Or greater. So if there's a 4-eye, if there's no 3 technique and there's a 4-eye or a 5, that's what you're kicking. We'll have calls for that.
Right. So for this, one thing that we're changing a tiny little bit is that midline rule for the F and even the quarterback. Quarterback, your rules don't change, but just be aware of this. When we go over the steps, you're going to see that the quarterback's basically going to reverse pivot around this midline, and he's always going to open up away from the play, right? So 24, that's 1 through 4 means it's going to the right side. So right away, you know it's the right. 4 is basically attacking over the right guard somewhere, okay? So what this fullback's going to do is he's going to attack the opposite leg of the center on the snap of the ball. All right, so instead of running a straight midline and making it the quarterback's responsibility to get entirely off of that midline, we're basically just giving the quarterback a little bit more wiggle room and the fullback a little bit more direct, a little bit less direct point of attack. So he's going straight to the backside foot of the center, and once he gets that football, which should be about maybe a yard or 2 behind the line of scrimmage, he's cutting back hard, and he's looking for this guard to lead him and he's looking to basically find the small hole that's going to appear between the right guard and the left guard as a result of this down block and the result of this pull block. All right, and your window should open up right here. All right, right tackle's looking to get up and get some a second level defender over the middle. Same thing with the Y, and same thing even with the wing, right? Because if you could create a little barricade here, right, between the right tackle and the Y, and I wish I lined these up a little bit better, but the right tackle and the Y and the wing, then your fullback should have a clear path to open space. All right. But again, at the line of scrimmage, the point of attack is basically the right guard where he starts. All right. So that's 24. And that's an odd front. And Coach Slay made a good point that we didn't want to confuse you with any of these fronts yet, but trap is one of those tough plays where you're just blocking it completely different, whether it's a odd or even front. So you see here how that extra guy in the line of scrimmage is going to change some of the jobs of these guys. So instead of this right guard coming down and hammering this nose, the nose is now in a position where the center can take him single-handedly, and the right guard's going to get up and look second level. Everything else is the same, right? 24 means it's going to the right, which means the left guard's going to pull. He's looking to cut off this inside lineman, right? And then you can form your brigade behind the right guard, right tackle, the Y, and even to a certain extent the wing. All right, I didn't even put the backfield steps in here right now because it's all the same. All right. So the first one's a little bit more thorough as far as the backfield. All right, you can come down here and you can look at your backfield steps, but these all apply to all of the trap plays. The only difference is if it's opposite. So I did the opposite rules for trap left versus the even front. All right, and I put these rules in here. The rest are just alignment. All right, 26, trap left versus odd and even. Again, same thing. You just have to know whether you are the right guard, left guard, and what your job is in terms of either doubling the nose or coming down. You want to be able to recognize your fronts, and Coach Swain and Coach Griff are going to go over all of that with you hopefully soon in person as far as that goes. I think that's pretty much it as far as anything new. Anything else that's going to be somewhat new, or at least new to new guys on the team, is going to have to be shown through that video. I do want to go through the quarterback steps. I want to make sure that you quarterbacks are doing those steps, hopefully on a daily basis. I want to make sure that the fullback has an understanding of what his release should look like. I want to make sure that our halfback understands what his job is going to look like on these plays. Anything else that you guys can think of, coaches?
You want that bird dog video?
I will take a look at it after I get off of here. Where'd I go? Can I stop sharing my screen?
Yeah, just click on the bottom, stop screen sharing.
There it is. The bird dog video. Yes, and you can send it to me, and then I'll either use it or I'll just go and make another one, or both. When we say bird dog steps, guys, that's just basically slow motion going through the steps of all of the backfield and synchronized timing. Because that timing is everything in this offense. And I think last year our timing was below average at best in terms of everyone being on the same page. And it really, I think that was ultimately the reason why we couldn't get the ball to the outside on buck sweep as frequently as we wanted to, or even on plays like jet where we struggled. It's all timing. And if we can time it up and confuse the defense and keep them on their toes, then that is obviously the goal. And then I think we're going to have a lot more success getting to the outside, which will set up the rest of our offense. Does anybody have any questions on anything there? Feel free to chat or unmute.
Anybody got any questions here? I'll unmute you guys. If you got a question, ask, guys. So when we get into school, right, and we ask you about 121 buck sweep, you guys know what you're doing? Everyone seems to be good and don't have any questions. You're confused, ask the question. All right. Some of you younger guys, you guys ran this stuff last year with Coach Shama. I think he just called it sweep, right? We call it buck. All right. It's the same thing. The formation's a little different, but we'll show you all that when we get there. All right. Anyone got any other questions? No? All right. Real quick. Let me see if I can find the thing I wanted to show today. Dan, you want me to show some of that Waldwick film you had for the buck play?
Sure, that'd be cool. Swain, did you have anything specifically for the lineman at this point or not yet? Okay.
I just had one play. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me find the clip that I wanted to show you. No, it's Waggle. Posted scored on that. Let me share my screen. You guys can see what I'm doing. You guys see my screen? All right. Now, this is Waldwick. This is one of those schools that we were telling you about to check out. Well, here we got film for you guys. All right. That's ISO. All right, so they do theirs a little differently, the way they line up, but it's the same play. That one, I think this is buck. Yeah, so this is their buck sweep. So you see how they do it, right? Instead of pulling the front side, though, they use the fullback to get in there. Just watch how everyone does their job. Look what happens. All right? 6-yard gain. And he cuts it up when he should have stayed outside. All right? Tight end comes down, crashes down. This kid misses the guard, but he actually does a good job recovering. Quarterback carries out his fake. All right. That's a different play. We didn't show you guys yet. That's belly. All right. Don't worry about the stuff they do right here. The switching and flipping. This is their sweep that they run. All right. So this is kind of like buck, but it's like our rocket that we run. All right. Just notice how they all get out there and do their jobs. All right. They're not me guys. They're we guys. And he just takes him where he wants to go. This is what's this? This is power. All right, so this power. We'll put this in later on. All right, but look, just down, kick. Everyone just doing their job. 6 yards. All right, same thing as belly again. There's that quick toss. That's a flag. All right. So you just see, guys, that's just what we're talking about, the discipline of doing your job, right? You do your job, we get the fakes we need, we get the misdirection, right? But when you're jogging, you're not doing your thing, it's not going to look good. It's going to look like how it looked in the middle of last year before we started picking it back up. Playbooks. All right, real quick. I don't want to take too much. I just want to go over this real quick. One second. I have it right here too. Oh, we're back. Where the fuck are we still on the call? Yeah. All right, share the screen. All right, so installs, no, defense. All right, now defensively, I just want to go over again what I did last week. All right. So here it is. This is just 30 Oki strong. All right, I'm just going to show you guys the front again. All right, now this is on there. I don't know if I shared this with you guys yet, but I will. All right, is just basically dictating what we're doing defensively. All right, now, so 30 Oki strong. All right, Mike goes to the left because that's where the tight end is, the strong side. All right. The tight end's on the left, so the Mike's going to the left. All right. Everyone else stays the same, right? The Louis, the Ricky, all right. The Will's the only one who switched. That's what we called him, the Jack. That's what it was. Last week I drew him up as the F, but I'm gonna keep the Jack. All right. So everyone stays on their side except the Mike and the Will because, real quick, I just want to show you why. All right. So now if we're coming from here, all right, Rory, unmute yourself, Rory.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if I called 30 strong, all right, where are we coming from? What's our movement?
30 strong.
Yeah.
It's right where the where the QB is, the nose.
No. Blake, unmute yourself. Blake, if I call 30 strong, where are we coming from?
The ends, the left end's bottom.
The left. We're coming from the left. Right?
Going to the left.
We're coming from the left. We're going to the
Right.
yes. All right. So where we set it is where we go. So now this guy's yelling out what, Vinny?
Louisville or something like that.
No. Remember, we got to tell these three knuckleheads where to go. These guys know where to go. So they're telling them where.
So something with an R.
Something with an R. Good. All right. So boom, they're in. They're in. They're in. He's in. All right. Now in the back end, what safeties do we have in here? Let me see who we got. Derek Romero. Actually, no, you played corner last year. Jason Castillo. If the Louis blitzing off the edge, who's dropping down to recover him? To replace him?
The money, no?
Good boy. All right. Now, who's another safety in here? Actually, Jaden Rogers. If he's going to drop down, who's coming over the top to play the middle third?
Jack.
That a boy. Look at you, bud. All right. So that's all it is. All right. The movement, we move and replace. Does this make it a little more easier for you guys from last week? Good talk. Where's the save button? All right. So there's that. Now, if we were to call, all right, Oki Field. All right. Now, if we're in here, all right, let me hear from Jensen Castillo. Where's the field? To the right or the left?
To the right.
Right now. So because the field's to the right, Jeremy Ramos, where's the mic lineup?
On the right.
That a boy. Good. See? All right. Now, since we're coming from the right, Jaden Rogers, what does the R have to yell out?
What's the name? Lithuania.
You are never going to remember that, but great job, bud. All right. Yes, he's yelling out something with an L, Lithuania, London, Louisville, right? Because we're worried about who knowing which way they're going. Jason Vega. Who needs to know where they're going, Vega? Vega.
Oh, what's the question?
Who needs fucking shot there? Who needs to know where they're going? Where they're slanting to?
The end, the line.
The line. Good. Very good. These three guys. We're worried about these three knuckleheads because seriously, if you know you're coming off the edge and you get to fly at the quarterback, are you going to forget that, Vinny? Are you going to forget that, Jensen? Jensen. All right, Jensen. Adrian, are you going to forget if you get the blitz?
No.
No, right? So who's going to forget? Who's going to be more likely to forget where they're going?
Lineman.
The lineman, right? So we got to help them out. So if we're coming from the right, meaning if the R is blitzing off the edge, right, he's got to yell out something with an L, right? So read right here, 30 field, right? The mic would go to the field, meaning more green, right? So wherever there's more green, okay? So the mic is on the right now because the field's to the right, right? The blitz is coming from the right, so we would make an L call, London, Lithuania, like Jaden Rogers said. Jaden, I never thought you paid attention in my class. Good job, bud. All right? So you're here, the line, blitzing. Coming. Now, Mr. Sam, who's dropping down? The money or the jack?
Money.
No. Think about it. If he's leaving, who's got to replace him?
Jack.
That a boy, see? So Jack rolls down, all right? Jack plays here. All right. Who else I got in here? Let me see. I got a young guy. Darren Perry. Who's coming over the top now?
The money.
The money. Good. All right. Now. Good. All right. So we got the basics of that down. Now, the other thing I wanted to go over today. All right.
Wait, Coach, will the O just stay there? He'll just stay?
What was that, bud?
The O. He'll just stay, like, stay home or stay there?
No, he would play football. He'd be up on the line because there's a tight end here, right? So he's got a collision to tight end, and he's playing this D gap out here.
All right.
All right? That goes the same thing. The L and the R are interchangeable. They're the same type of kid. The only one that the reason why these guys have to switch now, I want you to realize this. All right. Now the mic goes to the call side. All right. So this A gap is open. Right? Everyone see? That's way too big of a there you go. All right. This 8. Fuck that thing. Where is it? You know what? Now I'm just getting angry. All right. So this A gap is open for the mic. Okay, you see that? Now watch. Because the mic went to the call side, right? Now watch. I'll go back to the last play. All right. What gap is still open for the mic?
A gap.
Same A gap, right? Same thing for the will. Now the will fills B gap on run. All right, go to the next play. Watch, the will goes away. What gap does the will have open?
B gap.
B gap, right? That's why those two have to move because their run fit's going to be different. That's asking too much for these kids to remember. If I'm here, I got this. If I'm there, I got that. No, rather switch them and have them play football. All right? Anyone have any questions about that? Does this unmute yourselves, everyone? Let's have a quick conversation here. All right. Does this make it a little bit more clear than last week?
Yeah.
All right. That's what I felt terrible last week. I felt like I screwed you guys up a little bit. All right. So that's that. I'll put that on huddle. I'll put more of it in there. I didn't know if you guys would prefer with the board behind me or that, but I'm guessing it's that. So we'll do that. Younger guys, trust me, do not get freaked out. Think you get overwhelmed by this. Trust me, when we're in guys, it's so fast. Right? Jensen Castillo ran this defense, and Jensen's my missile, right, Jensen? Go get the ball, right, Jensen? There you go. Jensen understands this and does it, guys. I'm telling you right now. Right?
Yes.
It just made Jensen. How much less of thinking do you do when we play this way?
I barely think.
You don't think, right? You just get to go. You get to go. That's our point this year. We want you guys to not think. Just go. Play football. Right? Have fun. Cut loose. Pin your ears back. Go. All right. Does anyone have any questions?
Nope.
All right. Now tonight I have a meeting with Mr. Basil on this to go over whether or not we're allowed to start on the 13th. I don't know what's going to happen yet. It's not my decision. It's the supers and everyone's, but I'm just warning you guys. I don't know yet, but it might not be. We might not hear what we want to hear because there's a bunch of towns around us that aren't starting on the 13th. So I don't know if he talked to those guys or whatever. I don't know if the conference is going to step in and say, "Hey, listen, no one's allowed to start until whenever because it's not fair." But I'm not. This is not my decision. I can't sway them. Mrs. LaBianco came up with an awesome idea, awesome plan. You know, me and her worked everything out. So our plan is in there. It's foolproof. But it's just on the higher ups. If they say no, we can't do it. I mean, we'll just have to continue doing this. The other thing, all right, make sure, Vinny, go to your doctor's appointment or your driving lesson. The other thing, guys, there's 24 people in here, 21 in here. All right, at workouts, we're averaging 15. All right, that's not good, not acceptable. All right, we have to make sure we're in those workouts. They're on Google Classroom. The link, click it. All right, Vega, how long are those workouts?
Like 30 minutes.
Like 30 minutes tops, right? 30 minutes tops, and you get good work in for the day, right? You want to go to the field and run and do that and meet up, that's awesome, guys. I'm all for it. But when we organize a team activity or like an OTA, right, you got to be in it, okay? Especially you older guys, right? I'm trying to put a lot of leadership on you guys to where you guys are kind of like the junior leaders of the team, right? I got Vega, Blake, Vinny have been at everything so far, all right? And as for younger guys, Darren's been at everything, all right? Rory's been at everything, okay? You guys need to make sure you're in here. Jaheim, I see you at everything. Shaq, you're at everything. Carlita, you had that one slip up, right? Jaden, you were doing well for a while. I don't know if you were sleeping in or if you were hitting the field. But, guys, like I said, if you're hitting the field, that's awesome. I'm happy.
Coach, I ain't even going to lie. I'll be asleep. Like,
okay,
I
well,
set
you
an
waking
alarm
up
to wake
now,
me
okay?
up.
Okay, I'll start calling you. I'll even come knock on your window, buddy. All right?
All right, now.
Just make sure you're in these team activities. Especially like today. I'm sure you guys got a lot of good learning in about that defense that you're all confused about last week, right? If you know someone who didn't sign up, I'm telling you right now, July 6th, it's cut, right? No more signups. I have we're waiting on Castillo. I'm so happy you cut your hair. We're waiting on the state to approve or deny that physical bill where if you had a physical last year, you're good to go. It didn't get approved yet, I don't think. I'll touch base with Ms. LaBianco, and we'll talk more about it tomorrow. But as of right now, the bill says if you had a physical for the 2019-2020 school year or if you played a sport, you're good to go. If not, you have to get a physical, okay? Don't be surprised if they don't pass it, though, and they say you have to get a physical. So if you can get in the, my advice would be if you can get in the doctor's office, get in the doctor's office. Either way, make it easy. Anyone got anything else?
I went to the school today to hand in the form.
Yeah.
And they said that no one was there. And there was a janitor there. He said to come on Monday, which is the 6th.
Okay. Didn't I tell you if you were there and no one was there to text me and I'll take care of it?
I didn't know that.
I'll let Ms. LaBianco know you came to hand in your paperwork and no one was there. Who's that, Cyan?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll let her know. Yeah, just all right. Who did not hand in their paperwork?
Me. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I didn't either.
Same.
Get him in there.
I'll drop it off today, right in your house.
Hand in what?
The paperwork that's on Google Classroom.
My fault.
Yeah, we know. All right, so here, listen, I'm going to have more information on the guidelines and everything and the due dates after tonight's meeting. So tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll have our quick workout, all right? It'll be a little bit faster, and we'll have a quick meeting after, all right? Make sure all those people who are here today, right, are there tomorrow, all right? Guys, we're not going to win any football games if we're not in shape. Some of you guys couldn't even make it through the warm-up the first time, all right? A lot of you guys have gotten so much better in the 6 workouts that we've done. You guys are sitting in that squat pose the other day. It was awesome. You guys are actually getting flexible now. You're doing what you're supposed to do. All right. Everyone needs to get on the same page as these guys who are in there every day. All right. Any questions?
Nope.
All right. Good job today. I hope you got some good notes. Guys, if you're confused about anything, reach out to me, reach out to Coach DeStasio, Coach Swain. All right. I'm putting together a tackling video. I'm going to tackle my stupid ass roommates because they're pissing me off. So that'll be up there on Huddle for you guys too. All right. Any questions? We good?
We're good.
All right, gentlemen. I will see you guys later. Coaches, stay on for like 5 quick minutes.